But he lived. He lived.
Is that one of the 8-ounce gloves?
Yes, correct. Yeah. They looked all. I mean, I should have been more diligent, knowing the difference between 8 and 16-ounce gloves. But the guy that I'm trying to remember. Were you with the guy who went blind?
No, I was with Julian, the shorter one.
Okay. So anyway, we used to do it purely by weight, and now I try to do it by weight, age, and some experience. And because a couple of the guys that were the same weight as the other guys in the various seminars just thumped the living shit out of the other side, because the other guy had no experience, and the one guy had a lot of experience. And then, of course, I asked, experience? He says, a little. Well, a little, he didn't say a little cage fighting, a little this, a little that. He didn't list any of that. And then he went up against a pudgy, old, 230-pound old guy. And they both weighed 230, but there was a lot of difference. One was 230, mostly muscle, and one was... But the thing, one of the primary reasons behind this is that the calls that you have been hesitant to make, to pick up the phone. Now, you know how to do this. Let's say you were looking forward to this. But the calls, you can look forward to the calls. I mean, and as soon as you learn how to have some success with the calls, and it's by practice. By practice. But York said it, very accurately when he was talking about his roll-up. He thought about this, and he researched this, and he came up with all kinds of reasons why not to make the fucking calls. I mean, and he's not the only one. We've got a guy who's successful. He's not a Hall of Famer, but successful. His wife, now wife, said that, how long are you going to stare at the phone? 45 minutes, and this guy is pretty polished sales guy. He looked at the phone 45 minutes and had all these scripts all and the tapes and all this bullshit, but you got to pick up the phone before you can use the script. What's the takeaway of the boxing? Anybody?
A minute is a long time.
Yeah, but now in a 5-round fight, the first minute you're kind of dancing around, feeling the other side out, blah, 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 and maybe you get serious the last minute of the third round, and then when it's only 1 minute, I mean, almost everybody just goes all out, bent for leather, and but originally, naively, the first time we did it a few months ago, I was going to have 3 3-minute rounds. And then I thought better of it.
That's collegiate level.
That's 3 3-minute rounds. And so then I got it down to 1 3-minute round, and then I thought more about it. And so the first time we did it, they were going to go 3 1-minute rounds. Everybody was going to go 3 1-minute rounds. And then, but after I saw how spent everybody was in 1 minute, we've kept it at that. But it makes the point. Y'all did great. And the last time when Albino was boxing, and with his technique of, I forget, your left foot or your right foot, you're right-handed? Okay, well, anyway, and he'd slap his foot down on the, I don't know if that's part of your technique, slapping your foot down on the top of the canvas, but it certainly confused the other guy who was boxing. So it worked. What else about, other than 1 minute?
One thing that you guys probably figured out, but getting punched in the face isn't that terrible, especially when you've got big, heavy gloves. Most of us are wearing headgear, which I recommend you guys always wear. All right, but getting punched in the face, it sucks. But for example, that might have been the first time you've been boxing for, right? Was that the first time you ever got punched, really hit hard in the face like that? Yeah, I can tell. And that's not a bad thing.
And it was Black Hitler. If anybody was going to do it, I knew it was going to be Black Hitler.
The thing is Anelli might not be the biggest guy, but he's certainly a strong guy. And he got him good. And the thing is it was a good experience for you, man. It was good. It sucked, but it was mostly a shock.
He kept going as well.
Yeah.
He kept going.
Last seminar, we had an old guy, 50 years old, who was 240 pounds, and the little shit hit like a train. But he used to be a 180-pound champ at something. And so he knew how to hit. But now he's 50 years old as opposed to being 25 years old, but the little tub of shit still knew how to hit.
You still get the butterflies before.
Oh, yeah.
So as you're getting stressed and all, you get the butterflies, but you have to make the call.
Correct.
You have to stand up, go up those stairs, dial phone.
Correct.
And, one hit, one connection, the butterflies just go away. So the minute you start rolling on your pitch, everything just disappears.
And your pitch is going to get better and better and better. And then pretty soon it's just going to be, like Marcus is now. And you've heard Josh on the webinars. And, practice, not practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And when you do it enough, and as Marcus pointed out, he doesn't take no for an answer. He tells the banks what he wants. And when they don't agree with him, he says, what are you, crazy? Why would I do this deal based on these numbers? And that's exactly how you get it. You learn how to be more efficient. Yeah.
Mine was more confident. So that was the first time in August I went in the ring. So this time I've already been there once, so you know more of the environment.
Oh, you look better. I mean, you look like comparison. I mean, like you know what you're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing, like Muhammad Ali and that kind of stuff. Or Sally and I go to a restaurant that Sugar Ray Leonard goes to in Brentwood. And the times I've seen him not in the ring, but I mean, he's always well dressed. He looks good. And so I went up and I said, Sugar Ray, I'm a big fan. And he stood up. And you don't realize how little these guys are, And very nice to me. Whereas I've also met Muhammad Ali before, before he passed away. And now he was a pretty big guy. But I mean, now some of the boxers are big, like that guy Flurry, or yeah. I mean, he's a big guy, and but it's everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. Yes, go on.
It was kind of like doubt. The only time you have doubt, though, is when you listen to other people. I remember, like, Mike Tyson was talking about it. One reason he was always so successful is because he never looks down. Like, when he's going to the ring, he may look down in the ring. He might even punch down. But when he's going in the ring, he's always looking up, and he doesn't talk to anyone. He doesn't let anybody talk to him. So it's like you surround yourself with just your own mind, and you're just focused. And then it's really good to fight bigger opponents. So when you fight smaller ones, it's nothing.
Well, when Tyson won the championship the first time, I was sitting in the third row of Caesar's Palace, and he was hitting the guy. He had already won. I mean, the guy would look scared. Some of you have heard me say this story. He was hitting that guy with such velocity that the perspiration from the ring was hitting me in the third row. I mean, like bullets, like hail. That's how fast the perspiration was coming off that guy. And he intimidated, for many years. And unfortunately, almost all fighters stay too long. And because the power, just as CEOs of companies, you've seen a lot of CEOs get ousted. And they're bringing up these sexual harassment charges from 10, 20 years ago. And I'm not saying that they weren't sexual harassment charges. I would have liked to have seen them brought 10, 20 years ago when they happened. But a lot of these guys have stayed too long. And all these guys, whether they're introverts or extroverts, whether the few that are alpha males and the most of them that aren't alpha males, are tough as fucking nails. They all have that in common. Whether they speak softly and carry a stick, they're all tough. Tonight we eat in the pavilion. Tonight's snake night. They should have taken if you're going to have steak, whether you want it rare, medium, or whatever. Tomorrow we're going to briefly, because we're caught up with your cases, more or less. So now tomorrow we'll just briefly answer some questions, and then you'll go out to the breakouts, of which I'll go around again. And we'll gather up, you'll gather up information on the cases, and then we'll come back at some designated time, probably just before lunch and or just after lunch, to go through the cases, and we'll continue to do that. And tomorrow's the 23rd. 23rd. The 24th is a slightly different schedule because it's Christmas Eve, and Sally has some special shit planned for you. Not shit, honey. What, she running? No, has stuff planned. And then on Christmas Day, we don't start early in the morning. That's normally based on the alcohol that most people will have consumed from Christmas Eve. But we're going to go through all the cases, and you're going to see probably 5 more webinars.
4 webinars every Zoom.
Okay, 3 Zoom meetings and 4 webinars of people like Frank, some of which were from the last hardcore, and there's a surge in business, from my point of view, when the kids leave the hardcore. Even though I'm not teaching anything different, you already know this stuff, but there seems to be a surge. Now, maybe part of it's the first of the year. So resolutions and goals you set for the first of the year, right? And but there's a surge, and the one hardcore that I gave in October a couple of years ago didn't have the same surge. With you guys being successful, going out and doing deals, because October, and it was the first week of November. I'm not saying y'all went to sleep who were here, but y'all went to sleep. And so that's why the fact that it is towards the end of the year, and then you've got the new year to hone your crafts. Now, you don't have to go back and change. You can go back and change because it's in the pavilion. Any questions on anything we've covered? Any of the cases? Anything whatsoever? Marcus, now that he's the resident genius, you want to ask him anything? Huh?
I'm not the chief.
Yeah. Well, compare. Yes, you are. I'm looking at you in the whole spectrum of time I've known you. So you are motherfucking Einstein. Motherfucking Einstein compared to October of 2010. For sure. And he's done a bunch of deals. And the proof of the pudding. And you hear how he talks, which is not dissimilar to how I talk. Any other questions? Okay, we'll see you at 7 o'clock in there. Sally and I will join you. And good job, guys.